Welcome to BeerDisciples. I am Ross Quintana.
I'm Richard Callahan.
Sukkot edition.
2011.
We've got a interesting beer here. It's got a lot of stuff going on.
It's called the Stoic. It's from Deschutes. It's part of their big, I don't know what it's called. I thought I knew what it was called. Part of the series that they age in barrels, like the Dissident or the Abyss. This is called the Stoic. It's in that same line. It's a Belgian-style Quad, and it's 11%. So
They seem like whoever's doing the marketing down there has got a bad attitude. Dissident, Stoic. Next coming up is suicidal, followed by severe depression.
it would have to be the suicidal.
Yes. Why can't we be jubilation or reunion or... The pessimist's down at Deschutes.
Sorry, cameraman, I'm not saving this one for you.
Oh, good.
All right, that's right.
I'm pretty sure you have this one in
I have one in the fridge.
Crazy Rick's going to gnaw the top off of it. And we're ready for a pour. It says WJCT. Is that like what would Jesus do?
Could be the brewer's initials. It could be the four beers that they blended together.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought it was.
It's a nice golden color.
There it is. Getting a good pour, getting some
that.
complexity. Little lemon edge on a honeycomb. Not too much head. I like
That's
that.
a nice colored beer. I like the way that looks. It looks like it's got a slight haze. It's not perfectly clear. It's got a very, very nice white head on it. Let's get a smell.
Already sipped. Just
Yeah.
kidding. You jumped so quick last time. I am polite. I am waiting for other people.
The
Now
spices
we
on this are
smell.
great. Smells different than earlier, doesn't it?
It's a little bit more concentrated than on tap.
We had this on tap earlier. And this one, over here, I didn't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. It just didn't change my whole day. Then I had another that I preferred a little more. But let's give this a fair shake.
All right, let's try it cold. See how it tastes.
I'm getting that applesauce, spice notes.
Mm.
If there's pomegranate in there, it's very subtle in the back. Nothing from the giggler subtle in the back? Are you kidding me? Is this thing on? Oh, you're over there.
It's very sweet. It's sweet and spicy when it's cold. I love it. It's very tasty. It's a very complex beer. There's a lot going on.
More malt body on this one than it was over there. More sweet malt body. I do get the pomegranate taste in the...
I'm getting some of the pomegranate
not in the
too.
nose, definitely in the taste. It smooths out the old, what I call the applesauce. It's probably that Belgian.
I'm not getting a lot
yeast.
of whiskey barrels or any oak aged anything.
No, if that's
Maybe
in
they
there.
were used over again to age other
Maybe it
beers.
just sat really close to it, and then they moved it a little closer, and then...
Mm.
Well, anytime they say 16% this, it's like, really? If it's not 50%, I don't even care. Don't write it
It's a
on the
small
label.
amount.
Yeah,
It's delicious. I like it a lot. So we'll see how it warms up, and then let you know the verdict.
yeah, we got to come back to it. Okay, so what we like to do is get to know the beer, so we try it both when it's cool, and then we let it warm up a little bit because the profiles change. Some beers are better cold, some beers are better warm. It depends on what you want out of the beer. I mean, ultimately, what's there is there, but it definitely changes depending on the temperature. So we like to train both. And this one, I noticed the malt body comes through a little bit more the yeast and even the booziness goes down a little bit. It was a little boozy to me, but you get a little bit more of the pomegranate over the top. It blends itself better.
Pomegranate starts to really come through. I think this is a great beer. I totally forgot this was 11% until he mentioned boozy. And I talked to somebody that works at the brewery, and he said that 11 is what they ended up putting on the label, but it's probably a little bit higher than that. So surprisingly well hidden for the alcohol. It's not taking away from anything in the beer. It's definitely showcasing all of the different flavors. I would have liked to see some more of the advertising that's on the bottle, the rye whiskey barrels, the oak aged. I didn't really get any of the oak aged. It's got a very fruity. It's very fruity, very malty, and it's very delicious. I love this beer. I'm gonna give it an A.
I think based on the profile, it's going to be hard to get the barrel aging to come through based on the flavor profile of this one. It's just going to be hidden behind the pomegranate and the yeast and everything. I think they did a good job. I may actually prefer this a little colder. I think a little more of the spice notes came out when it was colder, and a little less of the booziness because I think cold it drank a little bit better. So I like that balance. It's good this way too. I would just say I prefer it a little bit colder or somewhere in between. I'm going to say for me, this is, I'm right there. This isn't really my style that I normally have done a lot of, so I'm right between a B plus and an A minus. Probably better than a B plus due to the complexity of it, so I'll probably go A minus on this, and pretty solid beer. So if you like
Very
something
delicious.
that's a little bit more boozy with kind of a fruity notes, then this would be a good one.
Very delicious. It's very drinkable. One of the things I like about this with the yeast, because it's a Belgian style, they had to use Belgian strain of yeast, and that usually has like the fruity esters that come with it. Ross calls them applesauce flavors. I think that they're actually they're very subdued in this beer. And they're subdued in a way that I find rare when it comes to Belgian strains, unless you find a good Trappist beer like Rochefort 10. There's no fruity esters in that from when I remember having it, which was a very long time ago. So it's definitely one we'll have to revisit and put up on the web.
I think the higher ABV hides that Belgian yeast a little more than normal, and most of them that we drink I don't think are that high ABV. So I think that actually works well with this style. So yeah, I'm going to say pretty good. Check it out.
It's a great beer.
Until next time.
Cheers.